One of the most important jobs for a contact manager is reminding you what you need to do. So let's start by adding a table and a portal with the basic features for a reminder system. And then as we go on, we'll add more through the rest of the videos. So the first thing we're going to do is go into Manage Database, create our new table, call it Reminders. Create that. I'm going to first go to Contacts and grab the fields that I need here. So I'm going to get a foreign key, a primary key, the housekeeping fields, and that should be all we need for right now. I'll copy those. You'll need FileMaker Advanced, of course, to do that. Paste, and then change these. So we're going to relate these reminders to contacts. And then we'll go ahead and make this reminders. Go into the options, make sure that we have the right acronym there. There we go. And then we'll add the fields that we need in here. We're going to need a priority field. Well, you don't need it, but I like this field. It sets the priority of how important it is. It'll be hot, warm, or cold. Then we're going to have a type. And that's going to contain values like callback, research, email. What kind of thing do you need to do? And you could put this in the description, which we'll have as well. But the point here is that it allows you to do good reporting when you have a field that designates it as one type or another. It also allows you to go ahead and filter that portal if you want. If you want to see all, let's say, callbacks or all research. So really having these fields and putting data into a field rather than everything into one big giant field, it's almost like a notes field. It does benefit you if you do it right. And then we'll need date due. We'll make that a date field. I'll auto enter the creation date on that. Of course, I'll allow you to override it. And then date done. This is when you actually complete it, and this will be important to letting you know it's done and to changing how the portal works based on whether it's done or not and how the fines work and things like that. Okay, so that's all we need here. Let's go to relationships. We'll drag this reminders down here. It's one of our anchors. Come up to our contacts. I'll duplicate this one, double click on it. We'll change that to reminders underscore contacts. There we go. And we need to move this down. Well, we can fit it right up here at the top, I think. So we'll just scooch it right in there. Connect those. Double click on the equal sign. Make sure we have the option to allow and delete. And then we'll work with sorting later. We're going to work at the portal level on this one. Line it up so it looks nice. I often go ahead and line things up as I'm going rather than doing it all at once. Now we're done with everything as far as the structure. Let's create the portal. And to do that, we're going to go in here and create a new tab called Reminders. Create that one. Click OK. And I'm going to borrow a portal, not from one of these. Like this one's too complicated, all those overlapping fields, and this one doesn't look the same. It's not, related fields. This one's rows too big. This one's just, they're not right. But there is one over in companies that looks right. And that would be this one. I'm going to copy this one. I think it most closely relates or looks like what I want to achieve over in the other table. So I'll grab this, copy that, come back over to contacts, paste it right in there. Oops, no, I'll click and then it'll paste right where I clicked. That's a little bit better. Otherwise, I tried to make the part bigger to accommodate it. And I'm not going to worry about adjusting this on the layout here. I'm going to let you guys do that as your homework. I'll just do it offline as well. There we go. It looks like what we got here is a little bit of a problem here. So let's undo that. Undo that. Undo that. Now let's see what happened. Oh, I know what happened. When we were over there and copying, we copied that notes field that was behind everything. So I'm going to paste it over here. And I believe all we have on the notes is that label. And it was grouped, thank goodness. I'm going to group this to make it easier to move it as well. There we go. And we'll ungroup that, or group it together. Move it in there. And now it doesn't look strange to me. I like to leave these mistakes in here because I make mistakes all the time, and it's about figuring them out and going, what the heck just happened? Okay, there we go. We'll ungroup that now that it's in there. I don't need this field for filtering, so we'll take that out. And we'll eventually change all these fields, but what I want to do is get this set up correctly first. And we'll get rid of that as well, right there. And so I'll double click on this. Go down and find my reminders contacts. There we go. We've got that set up correctly. No sorting yet. No filtering. Just that. And we don't need most of these things. I know we're going to want to delete them. But I don't think we need anything else past here. We go delete that. And I think I missed that checkbox. There we go. We don't need that. And I'm going to double click on this one. Actually, I'm noticing that there's some conditional formatting on it. So we'll go to our conditional formatting and remove that as well. Okay, now I can double click on it, go to Reminders Contacts, and choose the first field I want. So let's see, we probably want priority first. And I'll change the label up here. Pretty easy stuff. Scooch it over to where I want it. Maybe use the arrow keys a little bit. That looks good. And now I can Option or Control drag it over here. Double click on it. The next one I'll do is type, I think. And you can rearrange these to what you feel is best. Then I think we'll go ahead and do our description next. You see how important it is, and this is what I'm thinking off the top of my head, how important it is to have, all these different features at your disposal so you can quickly put things together. That saves you time, gets things done faster. You can spend more time on the harder problems or other projects. Okay, so let's go ahead and Option or Control drag this one. Get it in the right spot. There we go. I think next we'll have our date due. And we'll put due date there as the label. And then Option, Control drag it, whichever you have, a Mac or Windows. Get it right in there. And for some reason this is not working for me here, so I'll eyeball it here. And I'll put date completed. You can put whatever you want. It doesn't have to match in there. Date completed seems a little bit better for people. I want date done here because it seemed like it was shorter and more concise. But for other people looking at the interface, date completed seems better to me. And we'll take these two and go into our inspector and turn on our drop-down calendar. There we go. That looks good. We'll check later if there's enough room in there. The priority is going to need a value list, so we'll come in there and do that to this one. So we'll make that a pop-up menu. So we'll put in priorities. Hot, warm, cold. Simple as that. Doesn't have to be very complex to help you out, right? Pop-up menu. We'll do types here. And we'll come in here and put in callback is probably the most popular. Email, research. There we go. Now, one thing I hardly ever do, in fact, I never do it, is allow editing of value lists. Because what ends up happening is people don't realize that when you edit a value list, it doesn't change all the other values on all the other records that were that value. So all of a sudden you're out of sync there, It also, people end up doing fat fingers. They'll put in spaces and extra returns, and the value list doesn't come out very well. I'd rather give them access to a table and have them create new records and just base the value list off that table. There's less likely error there. At least you can control it with scripting and things like that. So let's see what we have. Let's see if we forgot any fields here. Always like to double check that. Sometimes you forget. Okay, so we'll go over to our reminders. And date done, date due, description, priority, type. I think we got them all here. So that looks pretty good. So let's try it out. Let's make sure we have access to the fields. Yes, we do. And so we should be good to go. Test it out here. We'll say hot, callback. Description will say talk about the weather. And the due date's in there. And then we can, of course, come in here and put the completed date whenever it happens. Plenty of room left here, but those are the basics. We're going to have to update this button. We're going to have to update some of the stuff on the delete option here and a bunch of other features that we haven't gotten to yet.